1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 7, 8, better stay awake. 9, 10, you'll never sleep again. I get a kick out of that every time I watch one of these movies. What's going on, guys? It's Matthew here. Welcome back to another video on my channel today. Today in this episode, guys, is another horror ranking video. So today I'm going to be ranking all 9 A Nightmare on Elm Street movies from worst to best, as a matter of fact. And this is one that I've been actually looking forward to doing. So as I was finishing up the Friday the 13th franchise, I was watching A Nightmare on Elm Street along with the Friday the 13th franchise. So I was able to finish up the Nightmare on Elm Street movies along with the Friday the 13th movies as well. So I'm very excited to rank them. And I'm very excited to rank them and show you what my best to worst thoughts are, as a matter of fact. But without any further ado, guys, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends, because that'd really help out my channel greatly. And also, guys, those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do excuse me, guys, I'm stuttering a lot. I also play video games, and I do Lego related stuff. I do all sorts of stuff like that here on this channel, as a matter of fact. So if that kind of stuff is your speed to watch on YouTube, guys, please make sure you go watch a couple of my other videos, give a couple of my other videos a chance, guys. And if you do end up liking this channel, guys, please do give this video a big, huge thumbs up, leave a like and a comment, and be sure you hit that red subscribe button. But most importantly, press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And those of you guys that are not new to the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you go subscribe right after this video, guys. But without any further ado, guys, enjoy the video. Let's get started. Okay, so coming in last place here, I have to give it to A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. So now, in case you guys were wondering, and so those of you guys that have seen my Friday the 13th ranking, I said when I talked about Freddy versus Jason, you guys know that I said I'm Team Jason. And the reason why I'm Team Jason is because most of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies after A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors is because they just get more ridiculous and they just get more upsetting as they progress. So I'm just making that disclaimer on why I'm Team Jason. And then something else is, I did forget to mention, though, is that if you guys have never seen me do one of these horror rankings, I am new to all of these horror franchises, so I am gonna have some different takes. I'm gonna have some bigger takes than most of you long-term fans, as a matter of fact. So like after the third Nightmare on Elm Street movie, like I just said, these movies just tend to get more upsetting for me, as a matter of fact. And out of every Nightmare on Elm Street movie, this feels like the one that's the most upsetting for me, because of the scene where the girl ends up lifting weights and then her arms crack and then she ends up turning into a cockroach and into like one of those sticky boxes, and then Freddy crushes it with her in it. That's what I absolutely hate about this movie. Like to tell you the truth, this movie actually gave me a panic attack. And to tell you the truth, I don't think I'm going to be watching this one again until I'm a little bit older, because of how much it terrified me, as a matter of fact. And yeah, just in general, This is the only movie on this list that I would say that I hate. And like every other movie that's like towards the bottom of my list is kind of like bad to mediocre, I will say, but yeah, this is the only movie that I would truly say is awful because of that one scene, and then this whole movie just doesn't really work for me. So yeah, it unfortunately it comes at the bottom of my list. So coming in next at number 8, I have to give it to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. So now, I don't know really what to say about this movie because out of every movie on this list, this is the one that I don't really like understand the whole concept of it. I heard somebody say like our final girl from like one of the previous movies comes back. So yeah, this is the one that I remember the least of. And then Freddy shows up in like her nightmares and like taking her child or something like that. But I can't really remember this movie, but based on what I've heard and the whole concept of this movie and what I know about it, this one is another upsetting entry in the franchise for me, because because of how executed it is and how much it like I don't know like how much it just upsets me, and unfortunately this movie just doesn't really make the most sense to me at all. So coming in at number 7, I have to give it to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So now I know a lot of you massive A Nightmare on Elm Street fans really enjoy this one, but for me personally, I'm not buying this one because this movie actually feels pretty boring to me. Like there's this like they're trying to make, like I saw that they're trying to like make like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie like in the actual movie, and for this one, and this is another entry in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise where we're like it's all about Freddy going after a child, and yeah, that's just upsetting to me when like a creepy demon or something like goes after like a small child. Like, if you guys know, I don't like anything like the Exorcist movies, so I basically don't like watching awful things happening to children. And that is the case with A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and Wes Craven's New Nightmares, because I feel like most of the movie is just Freddy coming back to the human world, and then he's just trying to get his revenge on somebody and like murder their child. Like I didn't really understand either one of these movies to like actually make it fair, but these I would say for the most part, like 5 is probably bad, and the New Nightmare is mediocre at best. But yeah, I truly hate all these 3 movies, and that's why they are the worst 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies for me. Up next on our list, at number 6, this one is gonna shock a lot of you, but I have to give it to Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So now, I know a lot of you A Nightmare on Elm Street fans really hate this movie, but But me, as being a newer fan to this franchise, lots of people have, lots of people, I heard a lot of you guys say that this one is way too over the top and silly and ridiculous compared to all the other ones, and that's why you guys think it's the worst Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But personally, for me, this movie was kind of stupid and fun at the same time. Like, I would say this is, in my opinion, I would say this is a movie where it's so bad it's funny. So yeah, for the most part, I really enjoy this movie because of how ridiculous and over the top it is. But yeah, I just, and to tell you the truth, I really get a lot of, I really have a ton of fun with this version of Freddy and how silly he looks. Like, I know a lot of you guys really don't like the makeup effects that are used in this movie, and when we find out that Freddy has like an actual daughter, I didn't mind that plot holder. Like, I know a lot of you guys really don't really like that plot holder in A Nightmare on Elm Street in this movie, but I kind of enjoy it and I like it for the most part. But truly, I think this movie is like nowhere near like the top of the list. I will 100% agree with that, and it's not the best horror movie or Freddy movie ever made, but for me, this is a movie that's enjoyable as a guilty pleasure. So coming in at number 5, I have to give it to the remake from 2009, or was it 10? It was somewhere. It was one of those 2 years, but yeah. So now, I actually heard a lot of you guys really don't put this remake in the top 5, but you guys put the reboot of Friday the 13th in the top 5. And to be honest, I actually thought about this movie and liked it the same way that I did with the Friday the 13th reboot. So yeah, I do like the opening scene in the diner. So yeah, in case you guys don't know, I actually don't watch horror movies of how cool the kills are. So I'm not that kind of horror person. I watch these movies for the entertainment and the suspense and the action that's put into them. But so yeah, but I really like the opening scene in the diner. I liked how intense and brutal that scene was. But yeah, and just overall the concept where we get like introduced to like all these like teenage kids, and then they end up falling asleep and then dying like one by one, and then in the end you only have 2 of them left, and then Freddy comes into their world and they're able to like chop his blade hand right off, and then they're able to kill him. I really do like that whole concept of this remake. I really enjoy this movie because of how they redid it, and just the whole premise of this movie is really good in my opinion. I was intrigued by this movie enough. So coming in at number 4, next up on the list, I have to give it to Freddy vs. Jason. So now, if you guys did also see my Friday the 13th ranking, you guys know that I really enjoyed this movie. It was in my top 5 for the Friday the 13th movies, and it's even in my top 5 here, as a matter of fact. And with this movie, I had a ton of fun with this movie. So the reason why I enjoyed this movie is because of the suspense, the action that's put into this, and I do think that this is a really good crossover between Freddy and Jason, as a matter of fact. And I really do like the whole concept that that Freddy like be has like the whole beginning of this movie like going into their dreams and whatnot, and then you have like Jason. Jason still kills people, but I like how but it kind of feels like Jason is like trying to be the hero in this movie because he's trying to kill Freddy to stop them from getting into their heads. So I think for the most part, Jason is more of a good guy than Freddy because Freddy is still doing the normal stuff that he is, and then Jason is just kind of going like back and forth and whatnot. I really do think that's a cool aspect to Jason, that he's trying to stop Freddy from getting into their dreams, and then when Jason falls asleep, Freddy Krueger is in his dreams, and then they fight, and then Freddy finds out that Jason is afraid of water, and so he does that to kill Jason in his sleep and in his nightmare. So I really do like that whole concept as well. But I think what really makes this movie really good in my opinion is you have like Jason and Freddy going at it at the very end of this movie at the docks, and then Freddy loses his arm, and then Jason is able to stab him with his claw thingy-majig, and then the girl that's still alive takes his head with Jason's machete, and then Jason ends up going down into the water again. But then at the very end, you see Jason coming out of the water with Freddy Krueger's head. Like, I normally don't watch movies based on how cool the kills are, but I think this particular scene, I think this particular kill and how this movie ends is like a good ending for this movie. And in my opinion, it was just cool to see Freddy get his justice like that, and it just felt like Jason was trying to be a hero for the most part now at like the very end of this movie, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I really love the concept between this movie, the action, the suspenseness in this movie is really fun. They still have the little song that's been in all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, as a matter of fact. So yeah, for the most part, this movie was pretty great in my opinion. So coming at number 3 now, I have to give it to A Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge. So now with this one, out of the original 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, this is where I fully have like I don't even know what to say right now, because I really don't remember this movie that much at all. But I do know it's about Freddy getting his revenge, and then Freddy like possesses like one of the guys, and then he comes out of like his chest and whatnot. But like I just said, I don't like movies about possession at all. But I think this particular movie, on the other hand, I really do think this movie, I do remember liking this movie as much as the very first one and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, because I do think that this is a good follow-up to the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But it's probably the weakest out of like the first 3 movies, but because like I said, minus Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and before Freddy vs. Jason, these all the other movies in this franchise have just got like so upsetting for me. So in my opinion, they should have just like stuck with the original 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and then did Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and then did Freddy vs. Jason, and then reboot it, because because I enjoyed all of those movies, but 4 and 5 and The New Nightmare, I did not care for those movies at all. But yeah, so part 2 is a solid entry in the franchise. It still is a top 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but it's probably the weakest out of all 3 of them. So coming at number 2 now, my runner-up is going to be the original A Nightmare on Elm Street movie from 1980, I think it was. So now, when I first saw this movie, I wasn't blown away by it like I was with the original Halloween, but for the most part, I think that this movie is good, and it's a very suspenseful movie, and it creates like a horror thriller and a horror slasher combined together. Because if you actually think about it, Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, they're just normal standard slasher killers. And then Freddy, on the other hand, he's not a full-on human. He's a demon from a different dimension and from a different world. So yeah, I think that's what makes this franchise so a little bit different compared to like the other slasher franchises and like the big horror icons, because with Freddy Krueger, he's a demon and he's a slasher killer. So like for those, you could like create like a thriller horror movie and a slasher horror movie, put those two together, and then you create like a psychological slasher horror movie, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that's what I thought of it as when I first watched the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So for the most part, I really do enjoy this movie. I would probably give this movie like a 5-star rating, because this movie is still pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but it is a really good movie, and I'm happy we actually have this movie, because this movie was a great start to this franchise. But coming at number 1, to be completely honest, I have to give it to A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. So now, from what I've seen for a lot of people's rankings, minus the original one, a lot of you guys picked this one as the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So I'm not alone when it comes to this movie, because a lot of other people really like this movie. And I really do enjoy this movie because I feel like it's kind of like an Avengers style movie, because you have all these kids that are in like a support group, because they keep having nightmares about Freddy Krueger, and they say that they're real, and then these other people don't think they're being honest. They think they're being lunatics for what they are. But then they find out later, and then they have to use their dreams against Freddy to get rid of them. So yeah, that is probably what I like most about this movie, is because of how clever and cool it was, and then you have like a little bit of an Avengers style team up here. So yeah, this movie is a very solid movie in my opinion, and in my opinion, this is the best one out of this entire franchise, because of how cool and I love the whole concept of this movie. And yeah, so it comes in at number 1 for me personally. So yeah, guys, that is my ranking of all 9 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, as a matter of fact. I do want to say, though, guys, be sure to share your ranking down below in the comment section. My list is not the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see your list as well. But yeah, this list is just my opinion, and I enjoy all of these movies. Well, I didn't mean to say that. For the most part, I do enjoy these movies, but there's just three that I despise watching, as a matter of fact. But so yeah, guys, I really do I enjoyed this franchise for the most part, as a matter of fact. So be sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends, because that'd really help out my channel greatly. And also, guys, those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that, guys. So if that kind of stuff is your speed to watch on YouTube, guys, please make sure you go watch a couple of my other videos. Give a couple of my other videos a chance, guys. And if you do end up liking this channel, guys, please make sure you hit that red subscribe button. But most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And those of you guys that are not new to the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you go subscribe right after this video, guys. But without any further ado, guys, I'm going to go get running back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact, guys. But with that said, though, guys, take care, drink water, and stay safe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!